Hi, I'm Adriana Baranek. I'm CEO of Miadria Group. You're watching UseWise YouTube channel. And here with me is Mladen Baranek, our
Hi.
CTO. So we are in our Christmas sweaters, and today we will be talking about the overview of 2020 and outlook for 2021, which will be the second part of this video. Um, so 2020 was, to say the least, it was very interesting. We had a pandemic, we had lots of changes, and we have all been going through some changes and through some adjustments in this year. And technology is definitely the topic that we always like to cover. So, Mladen, can you tell us more about technology in 2020? How was it going?
So 2020 was most definitely a year work from home. Pandemic caused a lot of changes, and we see video conferencing becoming a thing. So instead of business travel, a lot of people are using video conferencing, but not only within the company. There is also communication with business partners and with customers, and we also saw a lot of adoption within government, where
Mm-hmm.
even government started to utilize webinars and web conferences to communicate with people. Uh, there was a push towards utilizing technology to ease transition from old to new world. So Google and Apple developed platforms for tracking COVID-19. But
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, it is not fully utilized, and we see a much lower adoption than we hoped for.
Mm-hmm.
There is a huge wave of development pushing collaboration suits forward. So we saw even more features in Google Workspace and Office 365, especially
Mm-hmm.
regarding video conferencing, where Zoom became uh, a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and there was also very strange things going on. Like, for example, there was a Zoom Technologies company from India who listed on New York Stock Exchange, and people became very rich because there was a huge demand for Zoom technologies, but they are not related to
Yeah.
actual Zoom video conferencing. So, yeah, there were many mishaps. Uh, we saw a lot of uh, companies trying to adopt this new brave new world with e-commerce and trying to transform business processes. So even for our UseWise applications, we saw a much higher adoption since people somehow started to use business processes without papers, and
Mm-hmm.
it became easier to implement such solutions in enterprise environments. So uh, there was also a push towards public cloud. So a lot of e-commerce applications became overwhelmed, and we saw retailers having a lot of issues trying to reorganize
Mm-hmm.
logistics and applications for services that are needed
Mm-hmm.
during pandemic. So at the at this time, there is still not clear how long this whole
Mm-hmm.
transition will take, but we see that some companies decided to adopt e-commerce platforms and trying to adopt new
Yeah.
new business models, but a lot of businesses and uh, verticals are not able to adopt to this
Yeah.
new environment, so it
Yeah.
will be quite
And there
challenging.
is definitely the darker side of technology that we have seen in 2020, with all the crazy conspiracy theories having easier time to spread, and even deep fake videos and stuff like that getting easier to get to the masses with some negative things. There was also a lot of death, a lot of pain, a lot of people struggling to make ends meet. And 2020 was a very challenging year, definitely. But we think that 2020 was the beginning of what will become in the end very positive change and push for greater adoption of technology and for the greater role of technology in our lives in general. So this was it about the 2020. So let's forget it. Have a very merry holidays and a very merry Christmas and whatever you wish to celebrate in this time of the year. And we
Yeah.
will see you in the next part of our videos on 2021. Would you like to add something else, Madam?
um Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yeah. See you soon. Bye.
See you soon. Bye.